Welcome back everyone. Today we'll go over branded Tearlaments. The deck list is post October 3 ban list and it still applies until the Darkwing Blast comes out. So this is after ban list but before Darkwing Blast. So yeah, let's get into it. First of all, to get out of the way, we have the tokens. Now let's go into the tier package. We have 2 Rhino Heart, 3 Siren, 3 Havnis, 3 Merly. I don't think that you ever need more than 2 Rhino Heart. We have so many normal summons that we usually don't want to see him in the opening hand. We usually want to mill him. Siren 3, I want to see her in the opening hand. We want to mill her. Havnis, we want to see her in the opening hand. Going second, we want to mill her. And Merly, we usually want to mill her, but she can also be a valuable normal summon depending on the game state and on our hand. Now let's go over the branded package. We have 2 Aluber, 2 Tragedy, 1 Libitum, 2 Fallen of Albas. Pretty standard. We don't want 3 Alubers because we have many normal summons. Tragedy, we want to mill it with any tier effect. We want to discard in the graveyard with branded opening. We use Ad Libitum to bring about Mirror Jade and have the Banish and Albas, so we can play brand fusion. Then for the non-Despia or tier monsters, we have 2 Edging Chain. We use the Patchwork, our Sedol package to bring Winda and Artifact Scythe to lock down our opponent. You can substitute this with the Ras Disciple, but I just prefer the Artifact Scythe. Whenever this thing gets banned, then I'll probably switch it for Ras Disciple. Now let's go into the spell cards. Let's start with the branded spell cards. We have Brand Fusion, broken. The reason this deck is good, the reason branded is good is Brand Fusion. Brand Opening, second best card in the deck. We can mill basically anything. We can discard any tier and activate the effect. We can discard Tragedy and activate the effect. We can discard Edgem Chain, activate the effect and get +2. We can discard any of the Sadols and activate their effects. We almost always want to see one or the other on our opening hand. 1 red, 1 Expulsion. With Expulsion, we can bring Artifact Scythe into our side of the field, and then usually want to bring either Aluber or Tragedy in defense position in our opponent's side of the field in the draw phase, so we can avoid Imperm, we can avoid Imperm. And usually the Scythe wants to be banished, especially since the new set is coming out with the beasted monsters that they're banishing effects. Because if you banish the Artifact Scythe in your turn, then in the opponent's turn you just activate Branded Expulsion, bring it back, and your opponent can use Imperm, it can use any of the beasted monsters, so he can just not special summon this turn. Now for the generic spells, we have 2 Fryfork, 2 Poly, 3 Super Poly, going second. We are a fusion deck, so Super Poly I feel is a must. 1 Call By, 1 Easter Fusion, Mystic Mine out, Foolish Burial. We can send any of our tiers or even Tragedy to start our combo, or even sometimes one of the Sadols or even the Artifact Scythe, depending on the game state. Now let's go over the extra deck. For the extra deck, we have 1 Mirror Jade, 2 Albion, 1 Alba Lenatus, 1 Lubellion, 1 Quiritis, 2 Masquerade, 1 Chimera, 1 Kaleido Heart, 2 Kit Kalos, 1 Winda, 1 Dragostapelia, and the Garura. We have our Despia package here. We usually play 2 Albions because we want to usually summon one, depending again on the game state, and either bring back Lubellion or banish the artifact Scythe to be on the safe side for DD Crow and for the next set for Darkwing Blast. We play Alba Lenatus to fusion summon, especially when Darkwing Blast comes out. You can basically fusion summon with all of their dragon monsters. To Masquerade, we can very easily bring them in because of the polymerization and the Tearlaments effects. Masquerade is good. Guardian Chimera, it's a very strong card. Then we have the tier. Not much to say about Chimera. Then we have our tier package. When Darkwing Blast comes out, I'll probably replace one Kit Kalos with the one Lucaros that's coming out. Then we have our Winda. Winda is basically plan B or plan A depending on our hand. For example, there are many times when I cannot banish Scythe, I have Scythe in my graveyard and Havnis in hand, and I try to have at least one Sadol monster in the graveyard. So even if I try to bring back Scythe and they banish the Scythe, then I can just activate Havnis, mill 3. There are so many times they can just make Winda. So we try to lock our opponent from his extra deck with either Winda or Scythe. Dragostapilia, Super Poly, really good against Sprite. And Garura, Super Poly, it's like the strongest Super Poly target, basically. And now let's go over the side deck. For the side deck, we have Thrias Blossom. I'm usually playing in my locals, and there are many branded, there are many rogue strategies, and Ash is so good against any rogue. DD Crow for tier. Our going second cards through 2 Droplet, 2 Lightning Storm, 2 Triple Tactics, 3 Dark Ruler. Forbidden Droplet is really good to avoid Imperm. It's also really good to go for a second turn win where we just can have the opponent's monster's damage. Lightning Storm, going second card, can work as a back row removal for the Mystic Mine. Triple Tactics Talent, broken card, and Dark Ruler no more. So yeah, that is the deck list. Again, the change I might make with Darkwing Blast, I might replace the DD Crow with the with one of the beasted monsters, the one that if it's special summon in the end phase searches you one dragon monster, where instead of DD Crow I can use him, and then I can search for Albas. And if I have going second a Forbidden Droplet or a Dark Ruler no more in hand, I can just Forbidden Droplet or Dark Ruler no more and then just like normal summon and fuse with my opponent's monsters. That would be good against tier. So I think that for going forward, that this deck only needs those 2 changes. Well, replace the DD Crow with the Beasted monster and replace the Kit Kalos with one Lucaros from the new set. So yeah, that is the deck list. Thank you very much.